What's up, everybody? I'm Richard,
and I'm Sean.
and we spoke. This is past tense. Past tense. We spoke the language of bromance way back in the cold, blistery, frigid land far to the north, known as Chicago.
Chicago. Yeah, Richard, you and I, we've been talking about for a bit. We went to the 2018 Chicago Podcast Festival, and they graciously recorded our set, and I thought we did really well. It was a great time. We went up there for about a day and a half. We even got to drive all the way back together because somebody, quote, missed their train.
I did. I missed it. I swear to God, Sean, I missed that train. I ran into traffic. I missed my train by 4 minutes. 4 minutes, 30 seconds. No, actually, it wasn't even that. It was 3 minutes. 3 minutes and 30 seconds.
I want to imagine, like, you run there, the train's gone, and you look at your wife, and she's like, damn it. And you're like, well, at least we get to ride back with Sean.
That's exactly what happened.
That's the first thought that went through my head when you texted me. I was like, yes, Richard and I get to ride home together.
Right? It was like, well, it's not going to be that bad. We get to ride home with Sean. And she's like, did you do this on purpose? And I said, no. No. And I did that for like 20 minutes. No.
But yeah, we got the audio for it. It was a great time. It was, like I said, it was November 27th at the Beat Kitchen in Chicago, Illinois. So there was 4 shows that night. We had Don't Ask Jen and Liz, What's Your Sign, and then also What About Chicago. So 3 really great podcasts. If you get a chance, check them out.
Hey. 4. There were 4 really great podcasts. Did you not include us in your own compliment?
This has been a Freudian. I said there's 3 other great podcasts.
Oh, I see.
Ours is obviously a great podcast. So it was a great time, and I just want to extend a thank you to Aaron and Kelly for getting us all set up and inviting us up to do the podcast festival. It was a great time. Hopefully, fingers crossed, they want to bring us up again next year. It's a long festival, so if you're in the Chicago area, make sure you check it out next year. Like this year, they had the Dollop as one of the shows as the main headliner. So great time. So Richard, I don't know if you have any other thoughts you want to throw in before we catch everybody on the back end of this, but
let's see. You thanked everybody, so that was good. Beat Kitchen was really nice. They had amazing fucking food. Oh my God. They had this lamb burger, and I crushed it. I mean, granted, I was a little drunk. And when I say a little drunk, like I was drunk.
You're drunk. You're pretty handsy.
But despite that, the burger was amazing. And I'm not saying that because I'm drunk and I'll eat anything, which is true, but it was still good.
Yep, I had their pizza. It had blue cheese on it, which I like blue cheese. Was delicious. And I had it like 3 days later. Was still good.
Yeah, because it's blue cheese. You know what blue cheese is? Old fucking cheese.
Yeah, it lasts forever. But just like us, Richard, we last forever. But yeah, so we're going to toss that out there. Give a listen, and we'll catch you on the back end for our 2018 Chicago Podcast Festival from November 27th at the Beat Kitchen in Chicago, Illinois.
Cue flashback noise. All right, guys. What's up, everybody? I'm Richard.
And I'm Sean.
And we are speaking the language of bromance.
Oh, Richard, I have a tale for you.
Oh, God.
So we know that
Here we go.
You love pirates and treasure hunts.
I do love pirates. Okay, wait.
No,
wait. Okay. So I love pirates, yes, but I also love treasure because everybody loves treasure. Who doesn't love treasure? Because you get to go, number 1, you get to find it.
Yes.
Number 2, after you find it, you could spend it on things like cocaine and hookers.
Pretty close. So the story we have here involves it's intrigue, it's destiny to an extent. So let's jump right into this amazing story.
Okay.
So,
okay.
Richard,
tell me about it. For the record, I do not know what the story is, so bring it to me.
So,
Bring it to
Richard,
me.
John Gillespie believes someone was trying to kill him. The thought was festering when he called his wife from a hotel in Las Vegas. Pam Gillespie had just had surgery on nerves in both feet and was slow getting to the phone.
So what, she had gout?
I think so, yeah.
Okay, keep going.
So,
I'm sorry.
what took you so long? He ribbed. He's kind of a dick, honestly.
Sounds
that first
like.
line, yeah.
By the way, I'm curious. Like, are you reading this as a? Is this your? Are you paraphrasing this, or is it? Or are you reading me this story?
No, I'm reading this. So first off, what we're going to learn from this story.
Because I'm sorry, but like I think the author of this story is a little searching for a Pulitzer.
Yeah,
you know
he's
what I
definitely
mean?
searching for that. Because he definitely goes into okay, this will tell you exactly what it is.
Okay.
So what took you so long? He ribbed, cracking a smile over his John Wayne jaw.
Oh, keep it down.
So
keep it down.
Keep it going here. So Gillespie was in that still purgatory between runs, with too much time alone with his thoughts.
Okay, Ernest Hemingway, let's dial this down for a sec.
So he asked purgatory, what the fuck's he in between?
Is he?
So my initial thought is maybe he's a trucker. So he's at a truck stop. He's
So
filling
being
up on
in between,
ho-hos.
so being in between stops, he's equating it to purgatory.
Yeah,
It's a bit much.
I think so.
Just saying it's a bit much, okay? Because, you could say that about anything.
Well, I know, Richard, right now.
right, okay, wait. Because right now, I am in the purgatory between when I woke up and when I went to bed.
That's a good point. I'm in the purgatory between my first drink and my second drink.
Yeah. Don't worry. Everybody noticed. Everybody noticed.
So after the call, he mailed a package to his wife, a toy tea set for their 6-year-old daughter. First off, I don't know what year this is, but that's got to be a pretty cheap gift, right? You're out on the road, you're in between jobs of some sort.
He's a trucker. Calm down. He probably saw it at the store. He probably was at a truck stop and was like, "Hey, this'll work. I forgot Christmas. I'll do this. Gotta have a tea set."
Later that evening, he went to dinner at a steakhouse. So first off, he's going to dinner at a steakhouse.
He bought his daughter a tea set that he found at the 18-wheeler, and then he's like, "I'm gonna go get me a steak."
Yeah. It's all right, listen, the steakhouse has got this for $37.95, and this tea set is $6. Do the math. All right, I can do that.
I only spent $6 on this tea set, so it looks like it's steak dinner for me tonight. Father of the year.
So while he was at the steakhouse, he bumped into an old army buddy, Richard. They stayed up late drinking expensive scotch.
So wait a minute. So he bumped into just driving on the road. He bumped into an old army buddy.
Apparently at a steakhouse, nonetheless.
He's like, "Did you buy your daughter a tea set too?" I did.
So with this too, they meet up. They're drinking some expensive scotch. They start. So this is apparently, I think,
They can afford the scotch because they bought that chintzy ass gift. It's like, tea set. I just bought the teacups. He's like, "You could do that? You separate it?" He's like, "Yeah, just open the package." Be like, "I'm sorry, this was open.
Do I get a discount?
Do I get a discount on this?"
Listen, the package says $6. I bought 2 of these things. I get it for $1.50.
Yeah.
You gonna throw in some mints too?
How do you think I bought this scotch?
So with this too, he bumped into an old army boy. So we're seeing this is probably in the 80s or late 70s because they're reminiscing about Vietnam.
How do you reminisce? Okay, reminisce is not the word I would choose when it comes to Vietnam. They always talk about things like Vietnam flashbacks. Reminisce is not the word I would use.
Yeah.
"Oh, I was fondly dreaming of my time in Vietnam."
Yeah, with your buddy drinking expensive scotch and going over this.
Hey, let's get drunk and reminisce about the good old times when we were in Vietnam. That's what I do.
But apparently the next morning then, Gillespie taxied down the runway at McCarran Airport with his colleague and solo passenger, Jeff Nelson.
Jeff Nelson?
Yeah.
That's his name?
Yeah, Jeff Nelson. How do you envision this guy?
I'm thinking kind of like you, but with a mullet.
Mullet, some aviators.
Or either that or a lumberjack, but like a cool lumberjack. Not just your general run-of-the-mill lumberjack that's I chop down trees. No, this is your Uber lumberjack that he doesn't climb down, get on the ground and climb a tree to saw it off. He grabs a grappling hook and throws it to the next tree and then just swings to it.
Well, I feel like a Jeff Nelson's the kind of guy that does that but misses. Is
Jeff Nelson.
I'm Jeff Nelson and I'm about to fucking cut down
And
this tree.
every time he says his name, an eagle caws. Yeah. Jeff Nelson.
So Jeff Nelson and Gillespie, they boarded his twin-engine beast called a Howard 500. The Howard carried 1,500 gallons of aviation fuel for long hauls, and it flew between Baja, California, where it landed on a marginal airstrip, Richard. And later that night, in the cover of darkness, guess what? A crew loaded this plane with 6,000 pounds of Mexican red hair marijuana.
6,000 pounds?
Yeah, so we thought this dude was a trucker. No, he's a drug mule.
Yeah, he is. Drug mule, he's more like a drug...
Pterodactyl.
Yeah, hauling 6,000 pounds.
That's a shit ton of pot.
That's a shit... There's literally a shit ton of pot.
So when it breaks down...
I think a shit ton is... Well, a ton is 2,000 pounds. I think a shit ton is like...
2,002
It's got to
pounds.
be at least... It's got to be 6,000. So let's say shit ton.
So what they brought in was about 40 pound... They packed it in 40-pound burlap bales, which they marked with the Spanish word a frijol. Frijol?
Okay.
Frijol.
Frijol?
Frijol, which is the Spanish word for, Richard.
Beans.
Yeah.
Yeah, 2 years of high school Spanish, baby. Finally paid off. So you said 6,000 pounds in 40-pound bales. Now I've been drinking, so now I need to do math. So I'm gonna say, don't pull out the phone. Anyway, I'm gonna say it was 150 bales.
I carried the 3, and that's right.
153?
Yeah, we only got 40 minutes, so I can't do the math.
Okay. Perfect. Nailed it.
So Gillespie and Nelson took off before dawn on December 9th, 1976.
Who did? Who took off?
Gillespie and Nelson.
Who?
Jeff Nelson. So after crossing back into U.S. airspace, they flew between the coasts of California.
Okay.
Because basically they're like, hey, if we do this, people on the radar are going to think we're just some rich dicks from San Francisco or Seattle, which...
Yeah.
Were there a lot of rich
So
people
they were in
Seattle?
the purgatory of their flight, is what you're saying.
Yeah. And they decided, so Gillespie was like, okay, now we're fucking where we need to be. So Gillespie killed his running lights, turned sharply inland, hitting the deck to drop off radar. So he cut across the sparsely populated farmland of the Central Valley Basin, and the plane reached the foothills of the Sierra Nevada in minutes.
Okay. So now they're in the foothills of the Sierra Nevadas. And they're basically flying in the dark?
In the dark, no lights.
No lights.
Under the radar.
What could possibly go wrong?
Yeah, so their story, pause for the second.
Yeah.
Let's jump to our actually, this is our first hero
Right.
of
so
the story.
Let's put that story in purgatory for right now. And let's...
So, our hero of this story, Ron Likens, and his coworkers finished their shift at Yosemite's farm in Anawa
Why did
Hotel.
you say it like that?
I don't know. I feel like you have to say it like that when it's Yosemite. Yosemite! Have you ever been?
No. Do you say it like what about Jellystone?
Jellystone!
All right. Well, I mean, if it works for you, keep
So
going.
they loaded the car for a couple days off, and the plan was to meet up with another two friends on a trail and a snowshoe out into Yosemite's back country. So Yosemite Park, as you know, is enormous.
Yes, it is. Old Faithful is there. There's also a super volcano underneath.
Oh, God,
I don't know
don't
if you
talk
knew
about that.
It's gonna blow up and kill us all.
Yeah, thanks.
Just throwing that out there.
Yeah. Like,
Well, I'm just saying, live for today, because hey, super volcano.
that's a bumper sticker on
Yeah.
your car door.
Yeah, I couldn't find a bumper sticker, so I just wrote it in crayon.
So around this time of year, there was no traffic in January, right?
Okay.
So everybody was kind of just hanging out. So California was currently in their second winter. It was the worst drought of all time. So the crew
And this is when?
this was in 76.
Okay, so more to come.
Yeah. So the crew at the Anawa was a tight and a hive of young, turned-on souls, drawn to that wild, rock-shattered valley where God seems to have lost all sense of proportion.
All right, Edgar Allan Poe.
I know, no joke, right? Like, this guy's like, okay, first off, I'm going to write my, like, adventure drug DEA
He's like, this
story.
is my Jack Kerouac novel. This is me. This is my On the Road.
So employees that worked there enjoyed free showers, cheap hot meals in a cafeteria, courtesy they sometimes extended to the hippies and climbers. What do you think they extended to the hippies for?
Why did you say, why did they extend an invitation to hippies?
That's what they did, yeah.
Because it's 6,000, because there's 6,000 pounds of weed on the way, right?
Nobody knows that yet.
Oh.
Yeah, spoiler alert.
So these hippies are going to get surprised with 6,000 pounds of weed?
I think so.
Oh my God, I wish
Because
I was
imagine this. So you got a plane coming in.
If only I was a hippie.
And then living in the 70s.
And living in the 70s.
How old were you in the 70s?
I was negative 8 years old.
So you wouldn't be able to get this weed.
No.
There could still be some there, though, maybe. So.
Really?
I don't know.
Maybe.
So Likens and his friends parked where the plows had given up the clearing of the road and donned their snowshoes.
Okay.
Setting out, they laid down a stretch stitch through the meandering trail, tacking the quickest possible route up the mountainside.
All right.
Richard, on this adventure, we'll skip all the Jack Kerouac in this because
I was gonna say I feel like I'm going on Homer's Odyssey here, and I just want a 40-pound bale of weed.
So as they're traveling through this, they find a downed airplane. Richard,
the plane crashed.
The plane crashed. So winter was always quiet, but Yosemite's
How did the plane crash?
You have to wait
okay.
Sorry.
Sorry. Okay, I'm sorry. Sorry.
Probably because there was something on the wing.
Oh my God. Keep going.
So winter was always quiet in Yosemite because, it's cold, obviously. Nobody wants to be out camping in the cold. So the rangers, but they still kept busy all year round. I don't know why. Because of non-traditional visitors. Park Service term for hippies and rock climbers.
They called them non-traditional visitors?
Yeah.
That's kind of, that's a bit demeaning.
I'm surprised in this time and age, they didn't run them off.
Oh, look at them all being all non-traditional. I bet they don't even like marriage.
Do these guys, so they find this crash wreck and they go back to, this is another one of our heroes, Tim Setnica. So as
I don't like that name.
It seems kind of like a...
That's not Jeff Nelson.
That's not Jeff Nelson. Tim Setnica is the kind of guy he goes by the rules.
Yeah.
He pulls out that book. He's like, listen, 2.3.6.A says no masturbating in the cells.
Yeah?
Bathroom. Yeah.
Broke that rule.
Yeah. College life. What can I say?
I know, right?
I'm already started, so what can I do?
Yeah.
So
not finish.
So Tim Setnica, he said, do these guys know where they are? Which is kind of a stupid question because if you see a down plane, obviously they don't know where they are.
Yeah, I would think so. Even if they see a down plane, the pilots don't know where they are?
Yeah, that's what he's asking.
I think they would have an idea where they are. They'd be like, holy shit, we're on the ground.
Yeah, we're not where
That's not where we're supposed to be.
Because it's like, hey,
we're
guess what?
We're supposed to be not on the ground.
You know what's not in the runway? Trees.
Yeah. Yeah.
So Tim Setnica asked a fellow ranger at the as he dragged a finger across the map of the known crash site. I don't like this guy whatsoever.
Why? Because he's all by the book.
Pretty much, yeah. I mean, it's a down.
Is he wearing aviator shades? I'm picturing aviator shades and a black suit.
He's got knockoff.
He's that guy that comes. He's that guy that comes in at the end of a buddy or towards the middle of a buddy cop movie, and it's like I'm taking over.
Yeah. There's no fun here. We're going by the book.
Yeah. You're suspended.
But I just started.
That's how they crack the case. Every cop movie.
By the guy who got suspended?
But yeah.
Oh, yeah, you're right.
The guy gets suspended.
Maybe that's what happened here. He suspended a ranger.
I don't know. Keep reading and we'll find out.
All right. So Seneca dialed the Air Force Rescue Coordination Center because obviously it's like, hey, it's a down plane. This should be a big fucking deal.
That's a good point. I would think that if a plane went down and exploded, people would, I don't know, notice.
I'm surprised they didn't hear it. I mean, I guess Yosemite's pretty big. And plus, they'd be like, oh, shit, maybe the volcano's exploding.
They know about the super volcano yet.
Surely they knew in the 70s.
Nah, they're probably just like, oh, look, Old Faithful. Look, it shoots water.
Isn't nature weird?
It's like a lactating boob. It's like the lactating boob of Earth.
So he gave the dispatchers the number off the wing, which the waiter had written down. This set off a chain of reactions. Chain off. Set off a chain reaction. So before the Park Service could get a team of rangers together, 4 other federal agencies were vying for access to the crash site.
They all want, yeah, because they're like, holy shit, there might be weed there,
I
right?
think that's their thought. Do you think every down plane, they're like, holy shit, that could be fucking weed?
I think that if there's a plane that they didn't know was flying around that crashed in the 70s and it's like a biplane.
That's a good point.
They're going to be like, that plane's full of weed.
Yeah.
We want a piece of it. Because they all want to get their name in the paper. Be like, look at all the weed we captured. Look. And then they get their pictures with it and then they smoke it. Don't act like that doesn't happen because it does.
Hey, guess what? We found
Hashtag not my police state.
200 pounds of weed. What happened to the other 1,200?
Well, moles, gophers.
Those hippie moles.
Really, really big gophers. Bad teeth.
So the DEA got involved in this, and they came all out. And they brought in a chopper, Richard, a helicopter, a Huey, like in Vietnam.
Holy shit.
Yeah, they weren't fucking around.
Yeah, they weren't. The two on the ground. Okay, so wait a minute. So this plane crashed. What happened to the pilots?
Probably nothing good.
I'm gonna say no.
We'll have to fast forward that part.
Because my guess is they're gonna see the helicopter and then they're going to reminisce about Vietnam and then they'll have a fucking flashback.
That's a good
And then
point.
they're running. Then you got two like PTSD guys running through the woods with 40-pound bales of weed strapped to their asses.
Do you think that they made it through this crash, Richard?
Yeah, everybody lives from a plane crash, right?
Yeah, it's the safest way to travel.
I knew it.
So from the air, the
I feel
debris.
so much better about myself.
Yeah, no, we got to fly home later
I know.
in a Howard 500.
I'm gonna hold your hand.
That's got 6,000 pounds of weed in it.
Yeah.
So from the air, the debris trail of the down Howard 500 stretched 3/4 of a mile and pointed like an arrow towards Lake Merced Pass Lake.
Lake Merced Pass. It's a long name for a lake. But
It
keep
is.
going.
Since the plane was on, so this is Richard. So you have the DEA coming in. They're like, "All right, this is our
Yeah. So
Shit.
the DEA shows up and they're like, we're taking over. This is our jurisdiction.
No.
Then the FBI shows up and they're like, we're taking over. This is our jurisdiction. It's
Fucking-
like it's like Lethal Weapon on top of Lethal Weapon.
But you wait, and you got the park rangers like, listen here, motherfuckers. We're the Park Service. This is Yosemite. This is our jurisdiction.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
that's exactly what. And I imagine, like in the plane for the DEA or the FBI.
So
you
the
have-
Park Service went out?
Yeah, but in the plane that came down in the Huey, you have your FBI version of Jeff Nelson.
Caw.
So since the plane was on Park Service land, Yosemite's Office of Law Enforcement coordinated the investigation. So imagine this where you have like, it's like, fuck no, this is our land, this is our trial, this is our jurisdiction. We're gonna solve the case. We got our dog on it.
They got
Whoop, whoop, Rocky.
Oh my God, was there a Scooby-Doo like mystery machine fucking that pulled up and was like, we're on the case?
I don't know what funding was
And
like
then they
for,
yanked somebody's face off and they're like, let's find out who you really
We
are.
knew it would be Jeff Nelson.
Caw! He ran the haunted amusement park.
So in came Lee Shackleton, who took the lead, ordering his rangers to feint out against the gun-toting custom agents. And they started gathering all of this marijuana.
Oh, shit.
The total haul, Richard?
Damn, it feels good to be a park ranger.
No joke, right?
Right? You're wandering through the woods and you're like, holy shit, found a 40-pound bale of weed.
That's 30 pounds for the government,
Yeah.
10 pounds for
One
me.
for you. Yeah, do the old Bugs Bunny divvying up. Like one for you, two for me.
I mean,
One-
it was the 70s.
One
they
for
couldn't
you
count,
and
right?
one, or two for you and one, two for me.
Which sounds about right because, Richard, the total haul was 2,000 pounds.
They only, but you said they put 6,000 pounds in the plane. Okay, so they,
Yeah.
So are you saying there's 4,000 pounds of weed somewhere in the middle of Yosemite?
That is
and
exactly what I'm saying. So,
Babe,
Richard,
we're getting a shovel. Get me a shovel.
we're going to get a
We're
little
going
bit
to the woods.
into this tale. So, let's skip ahead.
I'm gonna
So,
be the Pablo Escobar of Yosemite National Park. And stand outside Old Faithful and be like, there's a super volcano down here. Here,
that's not
this shit ain't free, but
that's not spring water.
this is gonna
That's-
blow up soon.
That's not spring water. That's bong water.
Oh my God, you could totally do that. Wait, you could totally do that. No, so you put the bong water, you put the spring water inside, and then it's like organic.
That's true.
Oh my God, because it's such a because it's the craze now. So then you put spring water inside your bong, and then the whole thing's natural.
You know, of the two of us, which one would have come up with that idea?
Me,
Yeah, it should have been me.
hands down.
That frog in grade school, that's the reason I never did weed.
I know. Guess what? The frog lied.
Hey, kids, guess what?
Nobody does drugs. They all did drugs, Sean.
You know
you
how
were
I
like,
ended-
nobody. No, the frog
Yeah.
said only
Yeah.
bad kids do it. No, not just the bad kids. We all did it.
You know how I ended up here, kids? Don't do drugs. You have a teacher with her hand up your ass. That's not the worst thing. I suck dick for weed, kids. Has anybody ever sucked dick for weed? Isn't that what the dude from...
You know what? I don't like to go into my personal life, so let's just move on.
All right, so the pilot, John Gillespie, his wife, who he called, who was kind of a dick to, she had a very bad dream. She saw her drug-running husband's body upside down in the cockpit of his plane. His brown hair danced in the water, and that big frame. He was 6'2".
Edgar Allan Poe.
Hung weightless.
Let's tone this down.
In the harness. I feel like this author asked her, and she's like, "Yeah, I saw him hanging upside down in the water."
He's like, "Yeah, I had a dream. He was hanging upside down in the water."
How tall was he? I don't know, like 5'8". Let's do 6'2".
His body dangled
So,
like a ripe peach.
John had failed to contact his wife after Vegas, which he apparently did quite a bit. So she was kind of contacting, being like, "All right, fuck
This is
this."
a sad story. I thought they were going to live.
This is the sad part.
Okay.
So she kind of like asked, like, "Listen," she comes clean. She basically tells everybody, like, "Listen, my husband was a mule. He flew a plane. It was called the Jeff Nelson," which actually...
Wait a minute. The plane was called Jeff Nelson? I thought the guy he was flying with was Jeff Nelson.
It was. I just want to hear you go,
God damn it.
So Jeff Nelson... There's nothing there,
I feel
actually.
like it's a drinking game here.
So finally, after weeks of silence, after coming clean, they told her that the plane had been found in Yosemite. This is where it gets interesting, Richard.
Oh,
So
this is where it gets interesting.
I know, right? This is like a story on... This is like an Inception story. Story on top of a story.
Levels on levels?
Yeah.
Wow.
So Pam then called the only person in her husband's world she trusted, Richard. John's lawyer, Jeffrey Steinborn.
Jeffrey Steinborn. That is a lawyer's name. That's a name that I would take as a lawyer. If I was a lawyer, I would change my name to that.
To Jeffrey Steinborn?
Yeah.
What kind of animal sound do you get from Jeffrey Steinborn?
I don't know. What sound does a weasel make? Because I'm not a fan of lawyers.
Well, I'm going to give you another reason to hate lawyers, because Pam and Jeffrey Steinborn, they had been lovers in the past.
Oh, shit.
Scandalous.
Then just got real.
So she called him.
So wait a minute. So now there's... So we went... You're running me all over the place, because first we had two guys reminiscing about Vietnam, and then there was purgatory because you're driving between places. Then a plane crashed in a lake, I assume.
Yep.
And now there's 4,000 pounds of weed in Yosemite, and now I'm learning about how the lawyer cheated with his friend on the dude's wife.
Cheat on his client. I don't know if they were friends, because
All right.
Richard...
This is too much.
Steinborn didn't really like our buddy Gillespie, because he kind of considered him a prick.
Well, obviously, he's sleeping with the dude's wife.
Yeah.
He's like, fuck this guy.
It's like, hey, do you really want to be married to a guy that...
You don't sleep with somebody's wife if you like the person.
It's true. It's like, hey, do you want to be married to an airplane mule or the lawyer of an airplane mule? I rest my case, Your Honor.
made my choice.
It's like, I'm not an honor.
I choose both.
So our man Steinborn decides to kind of like go around, and he starts eavesdropping and gets some information with the DA and from the investigation, realizing that the plane had crashed and they had not found all the marijuana.
Yeah, they didn't find 4,000 pounds of it.
Yeah, so this is where I want to win you back. So on his last night in Yosemite, Steinborn was walking around and saw a campfire, because we know there's a bunch of hippies out there. They're just hanging out.
Why are you going to say it like that? There's
Like
a bunch
what?
of hippies out there. Bunch of malcontents.
There's a bunch of hippies out there.
Yeah, there you go. Say it happier.
So he goes out, he finds a bunch of hippies out there.
There it is, because everybody loves a hippie. Who doesn't love a hippie?
He found about a dozen young campers around a fire.
They
So
hang out, they're mellow.
he passed his joint around, Richard, to make it a little bit more mellow.
See, exactly. And you're all talking all shit on them.
Yeah.
And meanwhile, the hippies are just like, hey, you want to come sit at this fire? You want to smoke a blunt? Ooh. What happened there?
You want to do some blow?
You know what? Where my mind wanders is where my mind wanders.
Touche. So without revealing who he was, which, again, like if he walked in and he's like, hey, guys, I'm Steinborn, like, awesome. Who the fuck are you?
I'm picturing like he busts in like in a full suit. I'm Steinborn. And then they're like, cool, you want to hit? Yeah.
He walks in, he's all full suit. He's like, hey, everybody. They're like, what do you do for a
You know
living?
the guy that flew this plane? I totally boned his wife.
You know what? Yeah, exactly.
Twice.
So he tells them, so this is kind of what he says. He's like, I knew John Gillespie and Jeff Nelson. We're dead. Simon remembers. I just had this romantic notion. So this is how you're going to win this guy over. I had this romantic notion that someone should smoke that beautiful weed those guys were bringing back from Mexico.
You know what? I can get behind that.
I'd be down.
I can get behind that sentiment. You're like, you know what? I'm totally down. The guy was kind of a dick, but in honor of his death, let's find this 4,000 pounds of weed and get fucked up.
Listen, I only got like a 25% cut that I want. Here's my card. Wait, this says you're a lawyer. Wait.
Oh.
Lawyer, hippie?
Hippie lawyer?
Do you have to go to school for that?
Twice.
Because I was high the first time.
Lawyer school and then hippie school. What's hippie school like? I don't know. Hang out.
Your professor's Willie Nelson.
Yeah.
You know how much condoms cost at that school?
Nothing, because we don't use them.
So rumors spread like embers. Again, this guy trying to like win his Pulitzer.
Okay.
So the plane was Colombian. So rumors spread that it was part of a secret government program. It was filled with weed, cocaine, cash.
But it was filled with weed. That's not a rumor.
Yeah, the cocaine and cash one was rumors.
Was it?
It kind of became a myth, a folklore, if you will.
The myth of the weed-filled plane.
I wonder if they have like their own John. Is it
And
John
then
Henry
sometimes late at
Pecos
night,
Bill?
when you're at Yosemite and you look at the stars in the sky, you can see the weed plane
You know
fly
what?
by,
If you go to
and you salute good old Jeff Nelson. There it is. All right.
if you find the right spot in Yosemite, you'll get a secondhand buzz. So only about 20 climbers in this area. So this is what he's talking to these guys, and this is where the people kind of decide, listen, we're going to go on this hunt, this run for marijuana.
Okay.
So let's see here.
All right. So now So since it's a myth, I assume that everybody's going to be rushing into Yosemite trying to find the mythical 4,000 pounds of weed that are strewn about in 40-pound bales.
Yeah, I mean, he's spreading this rumor. People are going out trying to search for it, and then they find it. It's just like the gold rush of 49 in San Francisco. I don't know if you're aware of this, but somebody found gold.
So everybody's putting on hats and they're like, we're going to get us, we're going to go find us a bale.
I'm Prospector Jeff Nelson.
Yeah.
I'm going to get me some gold marijuana.
Oh, my God. I would totally do that. I'd totally be down for that.
People did do that, Richard.
Going out panhandling. Be like, I think I found almost a bale.
It's interesting because as people found that, I mean, you think that this so it was wintertime, it was frozen, so at a certain point, the park rangers and everybody couldn't keep searching because the weather just went bad, right? Like, Yosemite gets cold. I don't know if you know that.
I do know that.
It gets freezing cold.
It gets cold.
So they're like, listen, nobody's going to be out here. Those hippies, they like the warmer weather. They like to smoke their pot. They're going to go back to California.
Those hippies.
Those hippies.
Again.
Those hippies.
There it is. So derogatory. Jeez.
So they decide, like, listen, we got to cut it short. Like, it's too dangerous to scuba dive and find the rest of this pot. I don't know if they knew how much was there or not. So they decide to cut their search short. Like, listen, this spring, when it's nice out, we'll go back out and find it. Hippies,
Okay.
though, Richard, hippies find a way.
That's right, they do. Because they're resourceful, damn it. They're resourceful.
So they go through, and these guys kind of go out. They go out and find this place, and it becomes, like I said, that prospector gold rush.
Yeah, they're out walking around. They got pans and prospector hats, and they're talking with southern accents, even though they're in Northern California.
I think in this they have like a bunch of baggies with no zip ties, which is the only drug thing I know. Do you know why?
Yeah.
So, listen, this is how
Oh my
naive I am.
God.
I worked
All
at
right.
a grocery store when
Okay.
I was like 16, and people would come in and buy they'd ask for the baggies without like the Ziploc.
Uh-huh.
I'm like, I don't know if we have those. They get really like mad about it. And my buddy had to tell me, he's like, hey, you know what
They're
they're
asking
doing?
for bags without zip ties, and they're asking for zigzag papers.
Yeah.
And they're like, I don't know what these guys are doing.
He tells me it's easier to weigh it. I'm like, weigh what?
Weigh the bag, Sean. They're canning for the summer. That's what they're doing. They're like, strawberries, okay.
I lived a sheltered childhood, Richard.
You lived a sheltered something. I think it went past childhood, but let's keep going.
So they go out, they start searching, and somebody finds this weed, right? And again, it begins this whole gold rush of marijuana searching.
Dude, I'd totally be down for that.
And as they're going through this, they're finding it, but the problem is that since it was a downed plane, it's being soaked in, fuselage, fuel and things like that. So they kind of got to pick through and find the right.
Oh my God,
pieces.
that would fuck me up. That would totally blow my mind if I load a bowl with this fuel soaked fucking marijuana and then I'd light it and it blows up.
That's one shitty high.
I mean, like, this natural spring bond water's the shit.
Just say no, kids. That's how I got this 3rd-degree burn.
Yeah, Frog was right.
But they decided then, so as all this is going on, they decided to send some more guards in because the park rangers realized that the hippies had a little bit more resources than they had imagined.
Yeah.
So they go in, they settle it down, they kind of kick some people out. The one story I'll quickly tell. So the first few people that went in there, they go in, they grab a bunch of weed, and they come back out. And as they're going out, this is something I think would happen to us. So
This is what would happen to us
Yeah.
if we went out there?
So they get this weed, they put it in their car, it's in the back of their trunk. They're
Okay.
driving, and they decide, like, hey, listen, I've got this weed, so I need to find all these hippies in California. Hippies!
There it is. Thank you.
But, Richard, they didn't get far because guess what happened?
What happened?
They got a flat tire.
Oh. Well, they could change it. They're resourceful. They're hippies.
Yeah, but that's what they do. So they pull off into a spot, they got a trunk full of weed. Their car smells like weed and, airplane fuel. So they're trying to get it changed, and guess what comes rolling up next to them, Richard?
A helpful, friendly Good Samaritan that's like, I'll change your tire.
Well, yeah,
And I
somebody-
don't mind that smell.
Somebody does ask that. And they're like, no, we got it. But right behind them, Richard, a police cruiser.
Oh, damn it.
But luck was on their side because the police cruiser just kept driving by.
Yes!
How many times have you had that happen? Not with a trunk full of weed, but
Well, you
know.
don't know my life. So once.
running through the bushes with your pants down.
Oh, my 20s. Anyway.
So they get through this, they make it to LA, and again, like, these are guys who aren't drug dealers. There's like, it's like, if you stumble on a bunch
I'm sorry, Sean. If you have a trunk full of weed, you're a drug dealer.
Yeah, but
Because I don't think you're smoking 40 pounds of jet fuel-soaked weed.
I don't think amateur drug dealers last very long, though.
Hey.
Like, imagine me rolling somewhere.
I'm still standing.
So the trio, they make it to San Francisco. They're trying to find their connection.
Okay.
And of course, that doesn't work. They move to they take it to San Francisco, and again, that doesn't work.
Okay.
So what ends up happening is they sell a little bit of it, and the one guy that Strader's his name decides, like, listen, I'm just getting out of LA. I'm going back home. He ends up giving it. He sells enough to get a Greyhound ticket to his hometown of Sacramento. He takes the rest of his share and gives it to a high school friend. Like you do.
That's so nice.
Yeah, he says,
That's
hey, listen.
so nice.
Hey,
I would be all over that.
I've got all this weed. Can you please just, get as much as you can for it? And then, just give me whatever.
I'd be all down for that.
So
all
this-
of the things.
This continues throughout
This
about the
is a
year.
sweet story. See,
is.
now it's turned into a sweet story.
A bunch of people go out, try to get their weed. A couple of people are actually pretty successful with it. A lot of them squandered their money. So, I mean, imagine, like, you run into this weed, you go out, you make, like, I don't know, 10 grand. You're like, what do you do with 10 grand?
Whatever I
pony.
want.
Yeah, strip clubs.
Yeah, hookers and blow.
You know what happens? Yeah, buy more drugs. And that, kids, is how I got
Yeah,
into
you
life.
know what? It's called a trading economy, Sean.
feel
Trading economy.
I feel like that's a Johnny Depp movie.
It is.
But most of them,
Called Blow.
most of them failed throughout their, they basically, like I said, they squandered their money. But one guy, let's see if I can find his name real quick.
Oh. He's looking for the name. Finding the name.
I remember what his name is. Anyway, he was able to actually create a successful mountain climbing company. So
my
he was
God,
an
that's
entrepreneur.
so nice.
Yeah, you go out, you
That's
sell
a
all the
sweet
weed.
ending.
Yeah, I like it.
Thanks for ending it on a
we
sweet
end it,
note.
We end it sweet. So we got to tie it back into our man Gillespie. So after years, Pam was still unsure what happened. And so, I guess it wasn't years, maybe till the spring.
And then she stopped giving a fuck because she's like, hey, wait, I'm banging the lawyer.
Yeah, he's got a good job.
Yeah, fuck it. He's a lawyer. He's
Unfortunately,
high all the time, though. I don't know how that happened.
to end this story, they did find the pilot and his co-pilot, Jeff Nelson. And actually been like, in the water. That's dark.
That's horrible.
You are an
It was all
insensitive
fine, and
sons
then
of
you
a
went.
bitch.
No, we were doing fine, and then you had him gurgling. God, this is why I don't go out with you.
But they did find it. But again, she was able to go through this and find out, like, listen, okay, I got closure. My husband's gone. So guess what? Got a divorce lawyer on call.
Yeah.
So the story. Wait, was she underwater too?
Kind of. Sort of.
So Richard, this is a tale of entrepreneurship, capitalism to an extent, plane
And
travel,
love.
and hippies,
Yeah.
and one Jeff Nelson.
Okay, so I would say to close this out, I would say everybody, there is a fair chance there might still be pounds of weed laying in the middle of Yosemite somewhere. Granted, we're now 40 years forward, so there's a fair chance it's gone. But that's not to say there isn't another plane somewhere.
That's true. Does weed age like wine?
I have no idea. Why are you asking me?
I don't know. Thought you would know more than I would.
Well, yeah, because you listen to The Frog.
Hey kids, weed's bad.
Yeah, and yeah. So to wrap this up on my part, I would say number one, the frog lied a lot. Everybody was doing it, Sean. Everybody was doing
Blasphemy.
it. All of these people here
Raise
were
the
smoking
hands.
weed. Yeah, see, all of these people here were smoking weed when
Yeah,
you
it's
were listening to
50-50.
The Frog. It's not 50-50. These
It's-
other people just don't want to admit. You said weed. What about blow? See, there we go. Told you.
Wait, why did my wife raise her hand?
Yeah, I knew it. Anyway, so to wrap this up, I would say number one, the frog lied. Number two, Jeff Nelson is an awesome name. Thank you. Number three,
Are we taking a trip to Yosemite?
this author tried way too hard to win a Pulitzer.
His name? Greg Nichols.
Okay.
Kind of a generic name. Why he didn't
Why
win?
do you gotta bang his name? Why don't you bang the fact that he tried to write like
Well-
Ernest Hemingway and it's a story about a plane that crashed full of weed?
I don't want to bang the dude's wife like the lawyer.
Yeah.
All right, well, let me do a little
Be
bit of
the
housekeeping.
lawyer. The lawyer's the one that came out on
That's
top.
true. He got paid.
Yeah, he
and he
did.
got.
And he got paid.
I was gonna say laid.
All right.
All right, let me do a little bit of housekeeping. You can find our website. We're at languageofbromance.com. You can follow us on Twitter. We're at languageofbro. And we're also part of the Great Pod Bros Network.
Because that's one of the best podcast sites on the internet.
It is. All right, Richard, is there anything else before I close her out?
I would like to thank the Chicago Podfest Festival and all the awesome podcasts that were here earlier tonight and will also be on later tonight because sitting here, talking with your friends about whatever you want and sitting here, just talking to people in general is an awesome venture, and I think everyone should do it. Every single person in here. All start your own podcast. Do that.
Yeah.
Exactly.
All right, well, that's all the bromance we have for this show. I'm Sean.
And I'm Richard. And have a fantastic evening, everybody.
Good night, everybody. Oh, Richard, so that was you and I on a stage talking face to face in front of a crowd of thousands.
Thousands. There wasn't thousands.
No,
but
it
there
was a
were
good
people.
crowd. There were people.
Let's be honest. There were people, and I was marveled by the fact that there were people.
I want to thank Kelly and Aaron again. So Kelly was the one that invited us up and had us set up to do the show. And I also want to thank Aaron because he kind of helped us to get the sound put together, and he did a great job for all of them. And I also want to again thank Don't Ask Jen and Liz, What's Your Sign, and What About Chicago for sharing the stage with us. As it was a great, great opportunity and a great night for us.
Oh my God, those other shows were really, really good.
Yeah, they were. It was really entertaining. So Richard, as we tidy this up for kind of our bookends for our second ever live episode, do you have any Richard's closing thoughts?
Doing a show with you is awesome. Fantastic. I love doing it. Doing a show with you in front of other human beings is fantastic plus gravy.
Oh, I agree.
It's like sausage biscuit. You and I are the sausage biscuit, and then a live show is you and I is a sausage biscuit with gravy on top of it.
Yeah. I kind of like, once I got past the nerves, I wish I could have lived the moment a little bit more. And I know afterwards, like, it got you and I fired up to try and do more of these. So hopefully we can find more opportunities to do this. Because again, like, it's kind of like we sat there, we had a pre-show shot, which was awesome.
Yeah.
And then
that's what happens when you're like 1.2 drinks in, then everything goes out the window for you.
That's right. But I love like walking on the stage with our music too. That's one thing that I think I wish I could have like lived in a little bit longer.
Yeah, I get that.
I listen to that song all the time. So like when they kicked it on, it's like it's a cue to walk on stage and we get some clapping going. Like really got the old heart pumping and kind of like, we made it. This is our time to shine.
Yeah.
Although I only looked at you the whole time, so
you did, which I think it was the equivalent of like, okay, when I take my dog out to pee, every time she pees, she stares, like locks eyes with me when she pees. And my wife said that's because that they're in a vulnerable spot and they're looking for like a sense of security. And so I felt like that's what you were doing on stage. You were basically pissing on stage and you were looking to me for security and support.
I don't think I looked like I was pissing on stage. I think I actually peed on stage.
At this time, we'd like to apologize to What's Up Chicago for having to sit in Sean's pissy seat.
All right, well, let me do a little bit of housekeeping while we close this episode. Visit our website. We're at languageofbromance.com. Follow us on Twitter and Instagram at languageofbro, and email us at eatthebeaver@languageofbros.com. You can like us on Facebook, and also please leave us a review on Apple Podcasts, Stitcher, and anywhere else you get those. And we're also part of the Pod Bros Network.
Because we said it on a stage, and we said it here. It's one of the best podcast sites on the internet.
Yeah. All right, Richard, was there anything else as we close this live episode from Chicago 2018 Podcast Festival?
No, you know what? I'm gonna bask. I'm gonna sit in fond memory.
Yeah. All right. Well, that's all the Bromance have for this show. I'm Sean.
And I'm Richard.
And I say we eat the beaver.
Rawr.
I can't do beaver in a Chicago accent.
The beaver.
Beaver.
No, that's Boston.